was 48 years old, and I started noticing that I couldn't hear as well on the right-hand side. And I remember taking my fingers, and I was always going like this. And for a while, it was like this, then I had to go like this, and I had to get closer and closer to be able to hear it. And all of a sudden, I realized it was time to have it checked out. So I talked to a doctor and went down and basically said, you should probably have an MRI just to see what's going on. After seeing the doctor and getting the MRI, I was diagnosed with having an acoustic neuroma. My first thought was a tumor inside my head, and unfortunately I was not able to salvage the hearing in my right ear. With a single-sided deafness, it was, you're sitting at a table and you can hear everybody on your left, you can't hear anybody on your right. They think you're stuck up on the right, on the left you're carrying on a conversation. I found that I was craning my neck more this way so I could get sound coming into the good ear. I waited about 5 years before I really thought, you know, nothing's out there that I know about, I better start researching. I looked into a device that was a surgically implanted bone conduction device. The problem with that was I had just gone through a 6-hour surgery to have the acoustic neuroma removed, and I really wasn't anxious to have another hole put in my head. There was something else on the market. It was a cross type of a device where you put a device in each of the ears. But I thought to myself, why would I want to put a device and plug up my good ear when that's the only ear I had? In my quest to find a device, I was in my dentist's office, and I picked up one of the popular science magazines. And there was this article on this gentleman that was developing a device called the SoundBite. And it was a non-surgical device. It was a bone conduction hearing system that involved the use of a device behind your ear, a very small device, and a kind of a mini retainer transmitter inside your mouth. And I'm reading this article and I said, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for since 1998. My expectations were that it was going to be just this most incredible device to be able to allow me to hear on the right-hand side, and it has. The first sound I heard on that right side was my wife calling my name, and I turned to her and I was in awe. I could finally hear again on that right side. The sound quality of the SoundBite is exceptional. It is almost like natural hearing on that side. I was a little concerned as to how it was going to, you know, if it was going to be too loud, too soft, too tony. It is not at all. It gives a very, very natural sound. The SoundBite is very comfortable. I've been wearing it now for approximately 2 years. I don't even notice it's there. If I walk into a room, and if I don't tell somebody that I'm wearing a device such as this, they would have no idea. SoundBite is extremely easy to use. You know, after about 3 or 4 days, it becomes very easy to install and to take out. For instance, the piece behind my ear, that's all there is to it. That sends a signal into the device that's in my mouth, and then put it back in there. I basically just put it behind the ear and it's done. This device comes out very simply. Sits on against the gum, and it goes in and out in about 5 seconds. Done. Took me about maybe 2 to 3 weeks to learn to speak normally and not be concerned about a device in my mouth. Obviously, the device there is allowing for a whole new world out there, so I was not at all disappointed having it in there, and I've gotten used to it. I don't even notice it at this point. When I put the sound device in for the first time and went to a restaurant, I was a little concerned. I remembered eating with retainers in, never something on the side of my mouth that had electronics in it. And I was a bit concerned, so I took it out to eat. And of course, I couldn't hear on that side of me, and I go, oh, I'm going to have to learn. Everything I've read on this SoundBite said you can eat with it. So I ordered a plate of spaghetti and had the device in and ate with it, and it was fine. There was no problem with it. You know, at the end of the night, at the end of the evening, you take it out, you're cleaning it anyhow, you're putting in a solution to clean it, and it was perfect. There was no problem. I found that it's very comfortable even at home, so it'll be in and I'll be having dinner, a sandwich or whatever for lunch, and I will keep the device in. and it works very well. What I would tell others with single-sided deafness would be, if you want to be made whole again, basically, and not live with this, not being able to hear on this one side, I would certainly recommend looking into the SoundBite device. It has basically had an incredible effect on my life.